What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman. Now, swept up in the last couple of months of Marvel Cinematic Universe news was the rights for all of those Netflix characters finally reverting back to Marvel. And although it had been a while since we'd heard from Jon Bernthal or Charlie Cox regarding the Punisher or Daredevil respectively, we just got some quotes from Jon Bernthal in an interview he did right before he went to a Middle Eastern Comic-Con, explaining his thoughts on what's going on with a possible Frank Castle return to the MCU. We're going to break down everything they asked him and everything he said, but first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We're still giving away this insane 1/4 scale Beta Ray bill, as well as our third and final Infinity Saga box set. If you want to be entered to win, all you have to do, hit the subscribe button, then leave a comment down below, and if you want, stick around at the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. So this interview actually took place right before the Speedy Comics Con. That was the first ever virtual Comic-Con in the Middle East, and he had a ton of questions asked of him. This is Jon Bernthal from Hassan Mohammed on The Geek Show. The first question was, so my question is there any hope that we can see your Frank Castle again in the big screen, maybe with the MCU or in a third season? This was what he had to say. Quote, I think that there's always hope, you know? It's unbelievably humbling how much people sort of responded to this version of Frank, and I can't tell you how much it means to me because he means so much to me and he's in my blood, he's in my bones. For me, it's really not a question ever with this kind of stuff about whether you get the opportunity to do it or not. I think many people are focused on trying to get the opportunity in this business, and for me, it's more about what you do with the opportunity you have. So it's not about whether we do it, it's about getting it right and doing the version the fans really deserve and want to see. Now, obviously, he did his best to dance around that question and sort of steer his answer into a different part about what the character meant to him and what he was able to do for the character, and how acting, bringing things to life is the most important part. It's not about getting opportunity in the industry. It's when you get it, you do something with it. But pressed a little further, he went on to say this about Frank Castle's return, or at least his iteration of Frank Castle's return to the MCU. Quote, all of those decisions are made in rooms that I'm not invited into, and that's okay with me. I've got great stuff going on. I'm enormously blessed to have as much work that's exciting to me and fulfilling for me, but Frank is always there. He's always a part of me, and when we get the call to go, I'll be ready, and I'll make sure that I do everything I can to make sure that we do it right, or we don't do it at all. Now, if you caught it when I mentioned it in the prologue, I only brought up Jon Bernthal's Punisher and Charlie Cox's Daredevil of all of the Netflix characters to hold over, because really, some of them have already started to be cast in the MCU as a different character. Most notably, Cottonmouth from the Luke Cage series is now going to be Mahershala Ali's Blade in the MCU. So the possibility for some of these characters to join the MCU as a new iteration or a new superhero altogether, well, that door has swung wide open. But the possibility for these characters return as themselves, the same iteration, Charlie Cox's Daredevil and Jon Bernthal's Punisher, we don't have any clarification on that. Now, obviously, this became even more of a possibility recently when we found out that Marvel indeed had reached out to Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart, and although they turned them down, now with all of these rumors of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire eventually joining the Spider-Verse and/or Doctor Strange 2, the door is open to join other cinematic universes that aren't tied to the MCU and have those characters cross over. But Jon Bernthal's Punisher, he would be the MCU's Punisher. It wouldn't be enough to just have him cross over in a multiverse to see him once, although I'm sure he would do it. Charlie Cox as well. They were so good at the character that they portrayed, fans want to see those iterations mixed up in the MCU. Watch Daredevil alongside Spider-Man. For that matter, watch Punisher alongside Spider-Man. And just having them show up in a multiverse capacity for a quick cameo, the way that we think we're going to see other characters in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, just doesn't feel like it would be doing those characters justice in the way that the fans want to see it. And although I will never ever put words in anybody's mouths, I can speculate that that's sort of what he meant at the very end of that second part of the quote. We'll do it the right way or we won't do it at all. That might be him weighing in and saying, look, that character meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to the fans who connected with that version of Frank Castle. I don't want to come back for a quick cameo. I want to come back and actually continue his narrative and his story. But there's one thing we've speculated on many times here at the channel that would sort of be the linchpin, the thing that would allow him to come back. As of right now, Marvel Studios does not have a rated R division, and if you watched any of the Frank Castle series on Netflix, that version of The Punisher, that show was very rated R. It would be impossible to have the visceral violence the way they had it. Man, I still remember episode 1 when he throws those guys in the concrete. That's just so hardcore. It's going to be very hard to do that in the MCU that doesn't allow for R-rated content. Now, we've had the success of Deadpool and Wolverine in the past, and of course at other studios, but they've sold really, really well. And I've made the point here at the channel using Just Everything Always, the YouTube channel, as a metric for where and what the fans want and who they are. You can see clearly from the age demographics just at this channel that a majority of the people who watch the MCU, about 80%, are over the age of 18 and are ready for R-rated content. I'm not sure how Disney would be able to have these characters exist in a Marvel Max or a rated R capacity and then have them cross over and do the justice to the characters the way they would into the PG-13 teen crossovers. But if anybody can pull this off, it's Marvel Studios, and you don't have to have them engaging in the type of violence that we'll see in their solo films in a big Avengers crossover to still have that camaraderie and give the fans the feeling that we're getting the full Marvel Universe experience from the comics cinematically. Now, one thing I'll leave you with, a final thought: there is a team coming up heavily rumored in the Thunderbolts that would be a perfect fit for the Punisher, another team in the Midnight Suns, and a ton of characters that call for extremely violent shows. So if there's a way to lead to this, I'm sure they'll find a way to bring the Punisher back, but it's going to be unclear whether or not Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios want to bring back holdovers from that now defunct Netflix universe, or go ahead and recast by the time they get around to doing this. And if another 2 or 3 years has passed when they do, it may be the case that fans have sort of forgotten about Charlie Cox and Jon Bernthal's iterations of the character and will be okay with the recasting in a way they wouldn't have been if they had done it this year or last. Guys, let me know all your thoughts down below, specifically about Jon Bernthal's Punisher. Is that the Punisher for you? Is that the Frank Castle you want to see in the MCU? And how many of you are ready for a Marvel Max or a rated R label under Marvel for characters like Deadpool, Moon Knight, and even the Punisher? I would guess a lot of you, but I'm all ears. Let me know down below, and quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we're still giving away this 1/4 scale XM Studios Beta Ray Bill, in no way an action figure at almost a full 3 feet tall. This is an immaculately sculpted museum quality piece. If you want to be entered to win, all you have to do is hit the subscribe button, then leave a comment down below, and that automatically enters you to win all the rest of the prizes we're giving away here at the channel, like this third and final Infinity Saga box set. We gave away 2 earlier this year. We're going to give away this third and final one on New Year's Eve, regardless of the subscriber count. If you want to be entered to win any of the prizes or any of the future stuff here at the channel, all the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button to make sure you're a subscriber at the channel, then leave a comment down below, because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. Then hit the notification bell with notifications turned on to keep up with the content. And of course, if you enjoyed today's video or any of the videos here at the channel, by all means, hit that like button. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me on other platforms over on Instagram at IamFires, or over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Nvellen, Nvellen. There's links in the description to both. My name's Michael Roman. This is Everything Always, guys. Thanks for checking out the channel, and stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.